Outlander Season 8 is about to change everything. The trailer is on its way, and with it, shocking twists that will leave us speechless. If you thought the Season 7 finale was wild, trust me. Season 8 is going to take things to a whole new level. From jaw-dropping character returns to heart-wrenching goodbyes, the final season is gearing up to be the most intense ride yet. And the ending? Let's just say it won't be anything you expect. There's more than just a war brewing. Secrets will come to light, old wounds will reopen, and the fate of Jamie and Claire will hang by a thread. But how will it all play out? What does the latest teaser tell us? And most importantly, will Outlander's final season give us the ending we've been waiting for, or one that will haunt us forever? Outlander has never been predictable, and Season 8 is no exception. This isn't just another season. It's the final chapter, the last chance to wrap up years of storytelling, heartbreak, and adventure. But if you think the show is going to tie everything up in a neat little bow, think again. Season 7 left us with more questions than answers. The biggest shocker? The possibility that Faith, Jamie, and Claire's first daughter might have survived. For years, we believed she died in France, but the finale hinted at something far more complicated. Fanny's sudden appearance and the whispers of an unknown past have sent fans spiraling into theories, and now with Dominique Pinon returning as Master Raymond, things are about to take a mind-blowing turn. Why? Because Master Raymond's scenes won't be with Claire. That alone tells us we're going to see events unfold from a completely new angle, one that might change everything we thought we knew about Faith's fate. Then there's Jamie. We all know he's drawn to battle like a moth to a flame, but this time, the stakes are different. The Revolutionary War is coming closer to Fraser's Ridge, and Jamie won't sit back and watch it unfold. But war isn't the only thing on his mind. His relationship with Lord John has been shattered. William is caught between two worlds, and now there's a looming danger none of them can see coming. The question is, will Jamie survive long enough to see his family safe, or will the ghosts of his past finally catch up to him? Speaking of ghosts, let's not forget the one mystery that has haunted Outlander fans since the very first episode, Jamie's ghost. Showrunner Meryl Davis has hinted that the final season will finally answer the question that has tormented us for years. Why did Jamie's ghost appear to Claire before they ever met? The fact that this revelation is coming in the final episodes tells us one thing: it's going to be heartbreaking. And then there's Claire. She's always been the healer, the one who saves everyone else. But what if this time she can't? What if Season 8 forces her to face something she can't fix? With the war intensifying, time travelers lurking in the shadows, and the fate of her family hanging in the balance, Claire is about to face her greatest test yet. But here's the real kicker: Diana Gabaldon has already confirmed that Season 8 won't just cover Go Tell the Bees that I am gone, it will also include key elements from Book 10. That means even book readers are in for some major surprises. So what exactly is the final season leading up to? A war? A tragic death? A shocking reunion? The truth is, it's all of the above, and more. The Revolutionary War is no longer just a distant storm. It's here, and it will change everything for Jamie and Claire. But the battlefield won't be the only place where blood is spilled. This war will creep into the very heart of Fraser's Ridge, bringing betrayal, heartbreak, and revelations that will leave us stunned. Jamie has always been a warrior, but this time he may not make it out unscathed. According to leaks from Go Tell the Bees that I am gone, Jamie is gravely injured in battle, so badly that it's a miracle he survives. But survival comes at a cost, and the bigger question is, will he ever be the same again? Claire, of course, will do everything in her power to save him, but with danger closing in from all sides, even her skills might not be enough this time. And then there's the question of Master Raymond. His sudden return in Season 8 is no coincidence. His presence hints at a deeper mystery surrounding Claire's abilities, her past, and the truth about time travelers that we've barely scratched the surface of. Could he be the key to unlocking the final piece of the puzzle? Or is he hiding secrets of his own? Meanwhile, Jamie and Lord John's relationship is in ruins. After everything they've been through, their bond has never been so fractured, and yet fate isn't done with them. Jamie might want to leave the past behind, but when William returns to Fraser's Ridge with a desperate plea to save Lord John from the ruthless time traveler Michael Callahan, he has no choice but to get involved. This is where things take an unexpected turn, because saving Lord John might not be as simple as they think. Callahan is dangerous, and his motives are still unclear. What does he really want? Why is he targeting Lord John? And more importantly, how far is Jaime willing to go to stop him? As if that wasn't enough, another mystery begins to unfold, one that threatens to rip Fraser's Ridge apart from the inside. For the first time, Roger and Brianna find themselves being hunted by someone from another time, someone who knows far more about them than they should. But why? What does this person want? And how does it connect to the larger mystery of time travel that has been lurking in the background since the very beginning? With danger lurking at every corner, no one is safe. Ian and Rachel's journey to find Ian's first wife will lead them into the unknown, forcing Ian to face a part of his past he thought was buried forever. But with Rachel pregnant, this journey is more than just about closure, it's about survival. And then there's Jenny, whose absence in the final season is already sparking speculation. Could her story be playing out off screen, or is there something more sinister at play? With so many threads intertwining, one thing is clear. Season 8 isn't just about war, it's about reckoning. Every secret, every lie, every choice that's been made throughout the series is about to come back full circle. And by the time it's over, Fraser's Ridge will never be the same again. But here's the real question. Will Jaime and Claire still be standing when the dust settles? Or is fate leading them toward a final goodbye? The answers are coming, but they won't be easy to accept. For years, one question has haunted Outlander fans more than any battle, betrayal, or heartbreak. Why did Jaime's ghost appear to Claire in the very first episode? This moment, this eerie, unexplained glimpse of Jaime watching Claire through the window, has lingered like a shadow over the series. And now, with Season 8 marking the final chapter, we are finally about to get our answer. But what if the truth is something none of us are ready for? Showrunner Meryl Davis has already confirmed that this long-standing mystery will be addressed before the series ends, and Diana Gabaldon herself has hinted that the explanation is tied directly to the very essence of time travel in Outlander. This means we are not just dealing with an emotional farewell, we are dealing with something far more profound, something that could completely shift our understanding of Jaime and Claire's connection across time. Could it be that Jaime's fate has always been sealed? That his life from the very beginning was destined to follow a path leading him to that final heartbreaking moment? And if so, what does that mean for Claire? Some fans believe that Jaime's ghost is tied to his death, that in his last moments his spirit somehow finds its way to Claire not in death, but in a state between life and the afterlife. Others think that the explanation is even more shocking, that Jaime and Claire's bond defies the laws of time itself, and that his presence in 1945 is proof of something we still don't fully understand. But here's where things take a terrifying turn. What if Jaime's ghost isn't just a remnant of the past? What if it's a warning, a sign that something is coming in Season 8 that will break Claire in a way we've never seen before? We know that the Revolutionary War is closing in. We know that Jaime will be injured, perhaps even on the brink of death. And we know that time travel, while a gift, has always come with devastating consequences. The pieces are all there scattered like fragments of a puzzle that only now in this final season are beginning to fall into place. And by the time we reach the end, that message will finally be revealed. But the real question is, will we be ready for what it means? For 8 seasons, Jaime and Claire have defied fate, survived impossible odds, and held on to each other through war, betrayal, and heartbreak. But as we approach the final episodes, the looming question isn't just how their story will end, it's whether they will get the peaceful life they've always dreamed of, or if fate has something far more devastating in store. The ending of Outlander has been teased as both emotional and satisfying, but what does satisfying really mean? For a love story as epic as Jaime and Claire's, the only true satisfaction would be for them to grow old together, surrounded by family, watching their children and grandchildren thrive. But let's be honest, has Outlander ever made things that easy? Death has always haunted them, lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. The Revolutionary War is closing in, and Jaime, ever the warrior, ever the man who cannot stand by when his people need him, will throw himself into battle. And we already know he won't walk away unscathed. His injury in Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone was brutal, nearly fatal, and Claire's desperate attempts to save him may not be enough this time. Could this be the moment we've all feared? Could Season 8 finally bring the tragedy that has felt inevitable from the very beginning? The hints have been there all along. The teaser quote from Jamie, "If my last words are not, 'I love you,' it's because I didn't have enough time," feels like a warning, a heartbreaking prelude to what's to come. And then there's the possibility that Claire might have to make the ultimate choice to let Jamie go. We've seen her fight death before, seen her battle against fate itself to keep him by her side. But what if this time there's no fighting it? What if this time Jamie's journey truly comes to an end? But here's the twist. What if Claire follows him? The bond between them has always been stronger than time itself. It has carried them across centuries through pain, loss, and war. If Jamie falls, will Claire be able to survive without him? Or will she finally understand the truth about their connection? That death cannot separate them because they were never meant to exist without each other? And then, of course, there's the question of Jamie's ghost. If the final moments of the series tie back to the very first episode, then what does that mean for Claire? Some fans believe that the last scene will be Claire's death, perhaps in her old age after a life well lived, only for her spirit to reunite with Jamie's across time. Others think the ending will be left open, a bittersweet farewell, where we see Claire standing alone looking toward the horizon waiting for the day she will see him again. One thing is certain, no matter how Outlander ends, it will break us. Jamie and Claire's love story has never been ordinary. It has always been extraordinary, bound by something greater than time. Whether they live to see their dream of growing old together, or whether fate tears them apart, their final chapter will be unforgettable. The only question left is, are we ready to say goodbye? As the final season of Outlander unfolds, the Revolutionary War will reach its boiling point, forcing every character to make choices that could shatter their relationships forever. We already know Jamie will be drawn into battle, but he isn't the only one facing impossible decisions. The war is about more than just politics. It's about loyalty, survival, and the devastating reality that not everyone will make it out alive. And one of the biggest fractures we'll see? The fallout between Jamie and Lord John Grey. Their bond has been tested before, but Season 8 is set to push it to its breaking point. We know from Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone that Lord John is in serious danger, captured by Captain Ezekiel Richardson, who in a shocking twist is actually a time traveler named Michael Callahan. This means John's past, his secrets, and his very life are at stake. But here's where things take a painful turn. When William arrives at Fraser's Ridge, desperate to save the man who raised him, he turns to Jamie for help. And while Jamie will undoubtedly do everything in his power to rescue John, the real question is, at what cost? What if saving John forces Jamie to betray someone else? What if the war demands a sacrifice that Jamie isn't willing to make? And what if in the end this rescue mission doesn't bring William and John closer, but instead drives them apart? The brief but chilling excerpt from Book 10 hints at something dark. And how is Lord John these days? I wish I knew William said face and voice both suddenly bleak. This suggests that something happens after John is freed, something that leaves William feeling lost, as if his father figure has slipped through his fingers. Does this mean that John's experience with Callahan changes him forever? Does it mean that the events of Season 8 force him to disappear, to sever ties with William and Jamie completely? Or worse, does it mean that despite their best efforts, they fail to save him? And what about William? His connection to Jamie has always been complicated, but their shared mission to rescue John could be the moment that finally brings them together, or the moment that drives them apart for good. If something happens to John, if William blames Jamie, could we see their fragile bond shatter before it ever truly forms? And then there's Ian, who is embarking on his own dangerous journey. Rachel and Jenny are heading north to find Ian's first wife. But why now? Last we saw Rachel, she was pregnant. So what would drive Ian to risk everything just to chase the ghost of his past? Could it be that something terrible has happened to his child? Or is there a truth about his first wife that he needs to uncover before he can truly move forward? Every storyline in Season 8 is building towards something explosive. Alliances will be tested, friendships will break, and some wounds may never heal. And with war raging in the background, no one is truly safe. We've seen how Outlander handles loss before. It comes swiftly, unexpectedly, leaving devastation in its wake. And this time, with the stakes higher than ever, the war might not just take lives. It might take relationships, trust, and the very future Jamie and Claire have fought so hard to build. The closer we get to the end, the more we realize that this isn't just a battle for survival, it's a battle for everything they hold dear. But in a war where choices mean everything, will the Frasers and those they love make the right ones? Or will they be left picking up the pieces of a life they can no longer rebuild? The end of Outlander isn't just the end of a show, it's the end of an era. For years we've followed Jamie and Claire through time, through war, through loss, and through love that defied the very laws of existence. But now, as Season 8 approaches its conclusion, the inevitable question lingers. How does a story like this truly end? How do you say goodbye to a love that was never meant to be bound by time? The producers have promised a satisfying ending, but Outlander has never been about giving us what we want. It's about giving us what feels right, and that means we're preparing for an ending that will be both beautiful and utterly heartbreaking. For years, one mystery has loomed over the entire series, Jamie's ghost. Fans have speculated endlessly about that fateful night in 1945 when Frank Randall saw a mysterious Highlander watching Claire through the window. We know it was Jamie. We know his spirit somehow reached across centuries to find her, but what we don't know is how or why. And now, as Outlander comes to a close, the answer is finally within reach. Could it be that Jamie's journey was always leading to this moment? That his fate was never to grow old with Claire, but to exist beyond time waiting for the moment she would find him again? If Jamie dies in battle, as some fans fear, will his final act be crossing through time itself? One last desperate attempt to see Claire to ensure she is safe before he fades from existence? Or is the answer something far more unexpected? Could it be that Claire in her final moments finally understands the truth, that Jamie was always meant to be with her in life and in death? That the reason his ghost appears in 1945 is because she has already lived it, already said goodbye, and this is the moment where everything comes full circle? The emotional weight of this possibility is staggering. Imagine Claire older now, having survived the war, having fought for every moment she had with Jamie. Imagine her finally reaching the end of her journey, lying in her bed surrounded by the family she built, knowing that her time has come. And then, just as she takes her final breath, she sees him. Jamie standing before her, as young as he was the first time she laid eyes on him. The war is over. The waiting is over. They are together again. And for the first time in centuries, Jamie and Claire finally find peace. But what if the ending is even more complex than that? What if Outlander refuses to give us a straightforward conclusion, leaving us with more questions than answers? We could see Jamie survive the war injured, but alive, determined to live out the rest of his days with Claire by his side. We could see them rebuild Fraser's Ridge, welcoming their children, their grandchildren finding the happiness they always dreamed of. And yet, even in this version, the specter of Jamie's ghost remains. The moment in 1945 has already happened. That means no matter what, Jamie's story does not end the way we expect. And that single truth makes every moment leading up to the finale even more intense. Because as we watch Season 8 unfold, as we see Jamie and Claire fight to hold on to their love in a world that constantly tries to tear them apart, we'll be watching with one thought in the back of our minds: this is all leading to something we cannot change. Beyond Jamie and Claire, the fate of their family remains uncertain. Roger and Brianna, who have fought so hard to carve out a life in the past, may once again be forced to choose between centuries. The hints that someone from another time is watching them suggests that their story is far from over. Could they be forced to travel forward once more, leaving everything behind? And what of young Ian, who has sacrificed so much for those he loves? Will he find happiness with Rachel and their child? Or is there another tragedy waiting for him in the shadows? And then there's William, torn between two fathers, two worlds, and two versions of himself. Will he finally embrace his connection to Jamie, or will the war pull them apart forever? And what about Lord John? If the excerpt from Book 10 is any indication, he may vanish from their lives altogether, leaving behind more questions than answers. One of the most haunting possibilities is that Outlander may leave us with an ending that is both complete and unfinished. We may get closure, but not in the way we expect. The war will end, but at what cost? Jamie and Claire's love will endure, But in what form? The story that began with time travel may very well end with it leaving us questioning whether history is ever truly set in stone. Will the final scene take us back to 1945, to that very moment when Frank sees Jamie's ghost? Will we be left with the gut-wrenching realization that everything we have witnessed was destined to happen exactly as it did? Or will Outlander take one final leap, giving us an ending so shocking, so unexpected, that it changes the way we see the entire series? No matter what happens, one thing is certain. Season 8 is going to be an emotional storm unlike anything we've seen before. Every moment, every battle, every whispered, "I love you" between Jamie and Claire will carry the weight of finality. This is the last chapter. The last adventure, the last time we will see these characters fight for the future they believe in, and as much as we want to hold on to them to keep their story going forever, we know the truth: every story must come to an end. The only question now is, when the credits roll on the final episode, will we be able to let go? Or will Outlander leave us haunted much like Jamie himself, forever waiting, forever watching forever, longing for the moment we can return to the world we loved so much? One thing is for sure, the ending of Outlander isn't just going to change everything, it's going to stay with us long after the final episode fades to black.